I want to take you back a few years to the point when the Qataris government laid death penalty or gave death penalty to many naval officers who were from India who were serving in the Qatari Navy for anti-national stuff. Well, interestingly, I just said, okay, let's find out who makes up the bulk of the armies of Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and so on. And no surprise, Pakistanis. And this is a very interesting infographic if you want to understand how these so-called armies are going to work when push comes to shove. Who is going to be defending their borders? And you have the recent SMDA, Strategic Mutual Defense Agreement between Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. All these things, when these people do their stuff, it doesn't matter. They'll only choose Muslims. But if India were to choose Hindus for some critical post, secularism, the Muslims are being denied, the Islam is under danger, all kind of bullshit starts coming out. My point in saying all this is, you make some rules for yourself and for others something else applies, right? Hypocrisy of the highest order. And I'm going to show you some of the interesting data here by way of an infographic on how many people are in active duty in these countries from Pakistan and how many are in advisory duties in Pakistan. This whole history is going to shock you because having seen all this stuff, I'm saying, wait a minute, these guys are so blatantly bigoted and racist and they call India and Indians racist? I mean, you have to start giving them discount for all these things. And I'm hoping somebody from the foreign services in India will start using the data I'm supplying here to drive home the point that it is none of their effing business when India does something to preserve its internal integrity. That's just my 2 cents. Of course, the Indian government is free to use it or not, but the data is data. It doesn't lie. I have a small infographic for you. A request to all of you to please like this video, and if you have not already subscribed to our channel, do subscribe to our channel. Here we go. Who was Parshurama, who led a life of devotion, dedication, and daring? Why did he take birth on the earth? Was it to eradicate corrupt Kshatriya rulers who had become tyrannical and oppressive, or was it to bestow daya for the needy? So you can see here that the role of Pakistani military is widespread. If you look at the number of countries, all we did was we compared 3 countries, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and United Arab Emirates, and the numbers are astounding. And all you had was probably 7 or 8 naval officers from Indian Navy, and you gave them all death sentence. What the hell are you doing, Qatar? Why should India even be buying even an ounce of natural gas from you? I don't know. I'm just kind of making a little bit of incendiary observations here for India. I mean, do you really want to, do the business with Qatar? Do you want to buy their natural gas? Nobody else is there in the world to give you natural gas at the same terms. Please think about it. Anyway, so what has happened is Pakistan has a vice-like grip on all these countries by providing them with personnel as and when needed. The GCC, the Gulf Cooperation Council states, they've always been having defense cooperation agreements, and this ranges from active duty troop deployments to high-level advisory roles tailored to the strategic needs of each host nation. The numbers here may be small, but these are numbers that were gotten before the SMDA was signed. It is believed that 25,000 of Pakistani military now are going to be in Saudi Arabia. But just take a look at the numbers that we uncovered when we did the research. In Saudi Arabia, the number of active duty personnel is 2,100. In Qatar, it is about 650. In my opinion, this is understated. There could be many more working as military contractors and private military contractors and so on and so forth. Remember, the former chief, Rahil Sharif, was the one who was in charge of defending Kingdom of Saudi Arabia against the Yemeni rebels. So that's how deep this goes. Also, if you take a look at United Arab Emirates, Pakistan's role was instrumental in founding the UAE's armed forces. I mean, they built it brick by brick. Today, the relationship is focused on high-level training, technical assistance, and joint exercises rather than large-scale troop deployments. See, this is all desert area. Not many people are going to come over the land to try and take them down or whatever. It's probably going to be more missile deployments and things like that. Be that as it may, see, the point I'm trying to make is, are you guys really secular? Then why do you expect secularity from other countries, right? Why don't you apply the same yardstick, the yardstick that you apply to yourself, to other countries? So let's take a look at first Saudi Arabia. The defense partnership between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan is the deepest and most formal, built on decades of cooperation and a standing security protocol. Between 1600 to 2600 active duty personnel, they are in Saudi Arabia. The other one we talked about, SMDA, that actually commits 25,000 troops of Pakistan to work in Saudi Arabia. And when it's deployed, it remains to be seen. Also, I'm hearing that about 25,000 troops of Pakistan origin might be also in the Gaza stabilization force. I wonder if it is the same thing. In other words, Saudi Arabia says, okay, here is our 25,000 people contingent, and surprise, surprise, all of them are from Pakistan. It's possible, it's not impossible. So these active duty personnel of between 1600 to 2600 were stationed under the 1982 security protocol. What are the roles and what support does Pakistan give? They are not just present, they are deeply integrated into the kingdom's defense and security framework. I've heard that the personal security of the thousands of princes and princesses are handled by Pakistani military, but I'm also hearing that recently Saudi Arabia has sort of done their own stuff and they don't no longer need people from Pakistan to do this for them. So, what are the three main things that Pakistan does in Saudi Arabia? Foundational training historically helped establish and modernize the Royal Saudi Air Force. Security duties provide support for internal security and defense against external threats, and advisory and training offer continuous counterinsurgency training and technical expertise. Also, let's take a look at Qatar. For Qatar, Pakistan provides crucial support, focusing on building its internal security apparatus and providing specialized assistance. About 650 permanent troops stationed there, and during the World Cup 2022, they had 4,500 massive short deployment to maintain peace in the various stadia in and around Doha. Now, whether they are staying back or not, we don't know, but we just need to understand that Pakistan is very deeply embedded in all these countries' forces. Third, United Arab Emirates. Pakistan's role in the UAE is foundational and has evolved. The relationship is now characterized by high level expertise and technical support rather than large presence of regular troops. In all these things, UAE is always smart. They need something, they do it initially, and they know how to, let it go. For the first 5 Air Force chiefs of UAE, they were all from Pakistan. And after that, I think they have now started to do on their own, because the focus has shifted from boots on the ground to brains and experience with highly skilled, often retired Pakistani officers serving in key roles. What are the roles? Flying instructors. A number of Pakistani instructors continue to serve in UAE Air Force, training new pilots. Technical and naval advisors. Officers are involved in advisory capacities within the UAE Army and Navy, and joint exercises. Both nations maintain close bilateral defense ties through regular advanced joint military exercises. Now, this is just a small snippet. My guess is that the numbers are much, much, much higher, and that this is something that perhaps they should be reviewing, because you never know with hot-blooded troops. You never know what they're going to do. Remember, when Kuwait was attacked, the Palestinians working there, they were actually eagerly embracing all the invading Iraqi troops. Could that happen in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, or UAE? Who knows? Aren't you better off having somebody who's not having any political skin in the game, religious skin in the game, a much more professional outfit, for example? The Qatar experiment was the first one, I think, that India tried to have some of its retired naval officers to work in their navy, and somehow it didn't pan out. Maybe it was a sabotage to try and keep the whole thing for themselves by Pakistan. Whatever it is these kingdoms that need to think, is it worth keeping all your eggs in one basket? Think about it. Your oil reserves are dwindling. Your support people are not so helpful anymore. And by the way, my sources tell me that in Qatar, practically whole administration of the country is done by Indian emigrants, and only few things Qatar does it on its own. UAE, same thing, 1:7 foreign population versus local population. Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, I'm not so sure about how many foreign expats work there, but I know that several Indians are in critical positions in all these places, and it's for them to realize what is it that they are expecting out of emigrants. If there is any conflict based on religious lines in all these countries, do you think the Pakistani troops are going to enforce the discipline that you are going to tell them to do? Think about it. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.